it's recording from here, and then I have to start it. It's biology. Okay. So what was our topic last time that we have studied? And I think we have started lipids, right?
What?
Lipids. Because we have completed carbohydrates, then we talked
Yeah.
about proteins, and the third biological molecule that we have to discuss, that is lipids, right?
Yep.
So I think we have just discussed as well about lipids. What is
Mm-hmm.
We discussed about like what are lipids, its different types. So today we'll discuss about bit more in detail. So just a moment, I have to uh, okay. So is this visible to you? I think I have just shared with you my board.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, that's great. So just a moment, please. Yes, so today we should talk about like in triglycerides. I think we have discussed about the triglycerides are non-polar hydrophobic molecules. I think,
Mm-hmm.
all right, this is what we have already discussed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the monomer that make up triglycerides are, can you can you just recall what are the two components by which the triglyceride is formed? That was glycerol and fatty acids. So
Fatty acids.
yeah, the monomer by which this triglyceride is formed, so it is glycerol and fatty acid. One glycerol, three fatty acids. That actually makes the triglyceride. Okay, so this is what we have covered. And then after we talk about glycerol is what? It's an it's an alcohol, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's an organic molecule that contains a hydroxyl group that is bonded to a carbon atom. Glycerol. I'm talking about the glycerol because we have discussed about the triglycerides as a whole. So there, I'm just repeating those concepts again. And there, the glycerol is alcohol. That's an organic molecule that contains a hydroxyl group. As we know, that is bonded to the carbon atom. We have already shared some of the structures with you. We have discussed already. So fatty acids contain what? Fatty acids contain a methyl group at one end of the hydrocarbon chain.
Mm-hmm.
That is known as R group, like fatty acid, right? And typically to 4 to 24 carbons long structure is present in fatty acids, right? There's a long tail. I think I should show you in front of so that you can understand it properly. Like this
Sure.
structure, like
Mm-hmm.
you can see here. Sorry. So fills are like this structure. Can you see this now? Is this visible to you?
Yes, it is.
So it is what? It's a fatty acid, right? So this fatty acid I have already explained to you, like this fatty acid is actually, I would say, um, methyl group at one end. Can you just locate that methyl group at one end of the hydrocarbon chain? Methyl group.
This one.
Yeah. And that's actually the R group, the chain of hydrogen bonded to the carbon atoms. And I have already told you, like, it's about it typically 4 to 24 carbons long, right?
Mhm.
And at the other end, you will see the carboxyl group. That's the carboxyl group is here, right? So you can see here in this figure. So there's a carboxyl group on the other side. So this one is like this one is methyl group here, and this one is carboxyl group on the other side of this is carboxyl group. This one is methyl group here, right? So this chain which is here, that is actually 4 to about 24 carbon atoms, right? So this is the structure of the fatty acids. Are you getting this, Filza?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is one thing that we should keep in mind. And then after we can talk about like the chemical formula of the fatty acid that we use to how we came. For example, the short and the chemical formula for the fatty acid that I can show. Like fatty acid is actually I can show this in the form of formula. So that is R C double O H. This is the fatty acid formula that we can use. Fatty acid formula. Fells, are you getting this point? So this is the general formula that we used to have. This R is what? This R is, I have already told you, like the methyl group, or the R is actually the carbon chain, the carbon chain, whatever. That's R. Then after you have at the end of that you have the COOH. So we can show this in the form of this general formula that is RCOOH. Right? Are you getting this?
Mhm. Yeah.
So this is one thing that we should also keep in mind. Okay. So then after we can say fatty acids can vary in two ways. What are those two ways by which this fatty acid can be varied? I mean, one fatty acid can be different from the other. So it is based on two important ways. The one is that is the length of the hydrocarbon chain. For example, this chain which is here, because I have just given you an approximate estimate of this, like 4 to 24. So the first thing is fatty acids can be different from each other based on length. Based on length. How? It is possible that there are 4 carbons somewhere, another fatty acid that may have the 6 carbon, another carbon that has the 12 carbon. So number of carbons are the length of this chain can be vary from fatty acid to fatty acid. So the first thing is fatty acids can be different from each other based on length. Based on length,
One.
right? This is
Mm-hmm.
one thing. And the second way by which fatty acids can be different from each other, so that is the fatty acid chain R group, like that may be saturated or unsaturated, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
although there are exceptions like coconut and palm oil, that's but like in many of the cases, like mainly vegetable oils are there in case of unsaturated fatty acids. So in saturated fatty acids, mainly in animal fat is there. So the second important thing is the second way of difference in fatty acid is saturated or unsaturated. All right. I hope you know the
Mm-hmm.
difference between these two. Filza, can you please just help me to understand how I can differentiate this saturated fatty acid from the unsaturated fatty acids? What do you think about it? Yeah, please. If you can help me to guide me on this. Is there any difference between saturated and unsaturated fatty acids, Filza?
Yes, there is.
What's that?
That they're not saturated.
Sorry?
They're not saturated.
I'm just asking like how you can differentiate if one is not saturated, unsaturated. So if one is not saturated or unsaturated, so how we can differentiate in the chain? Like if I would say,
The
Filza,
length,
here's a chain in front of you. Can you please just tell me it's a saturated or unsaturated?
it's saturated.
It's saturated because there is no double or triple bond here. There's no double bond,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is yes, exactly. You're right in this way. So the second way of difference of the fatty acid is like they may be saturated, like I have told you already, like the animal fat, right? If the
Mm-hmm.
saturated is, so that is animal fat. If you talk about the unsaturated, so I have told you like the vegetable oil that's in plants, vegetable oil. Some with the coconut oil and some, the mainly is vegetable oil that I've shown you, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is the second way by which we would say like the fatty acids are different from each other. One is length of the chain, and the second is their level of saturation and unsaturation, right? So based on that, we would say that one fatty acid is different from the other fatty acid. Are you getting, Filza?
Yes.
Any question in your mind?
No.
Okay, so then after we can talk about bit more in further discussion, like I can take the unsaturated fatty acids can be mono or polyunsaturated. Like I would say if hydrogen atoms are on the same side of the double bond, that they are cis fatty acids and are metabolized by enzymes, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like you can I'm just talking about the unsaturated fatty acids now. Saturated fatty acid, that's out of question now because there's no double bond there, so there's no any other uh, any other specific thing that we need to discuss. But I've taken first the unsaturated fatty acids, and in unsaturated fatty acids, even if hydrogen atoms are on the same side of the double bond, I think I should show you any of the like here's example that I can show you. Um, this one, if this is visible to you. Um, yes. So, Filza, here it is. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Look at this. So, mono unsaturated, one double bond is here, right? That's mono unsaturated because one double bond. Hydrocarbon chain, you can say it's an oleic acid. That's what we call oleic acid. You can see here the methyl group on one side, then carboxyl group on the other side. The carboxylic group is on the other side, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at this point of time, you can see here like we have the hydrogen atoms on the same side of this. And if you have the hydrogen atoms on the same side of the double bond, right? So in that
Mm-hmm.
case, we can say that is a cis fatty acid and that can be metabolized by enzymes. All right.
Okay.
And if the hydrogen atoms are on opposite side of the double bond, so they are trans fatty acids and they cannot be, you would say, form enzyme substrate complexes. You cannot metabolize them by enzymes. I hope you're getting this point.
Yeah.
Cis fatty acids, as I have shown you here, this one is a cis fatty acid. It can be metabolized by using enzymes. But if you have the trans fatty acids, where you have the hydrogen atoms on the opposite side of the double bond, so like I can show you here as an example. Do we have any such example here? Hmm, like like I need to find out this one, but right now in this diagram, hydrogen atoms on the opposite sides. No, in this case, many of like most of the cases, what we always have that is of the cis fatty acids. But I have just shown you the opposite case may also be possible in many of the cases. Like in this case, I've shown you here in this diagram. If I remove this hydrogen from here and I show this on the other side of it, like on this side, like on this side, so it would be a trans fatty acid and it cannot be metabolized by using enzymes, right? However, this
Mm-hmm.
is not, but I'm just telling you like it is the possibility that one can have a trans fatty acids as well. Okay, getting?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So, you know, let me I mean, just tell you about it. Like trans fatty acids, you know, uh, they are not that they cannot be metabolized. So trans fat is linked with coronary heart disease. So it has been observed that the coronary artery, which is actually blocked by the fats, and those fats are trans fats. And that's why the enzymes which are present in our body, they are unable to metabolize it, right? And because of that, those trans fats are actually linked with the coronary heart disease. That's why uh, mostly patients or the heart patients, they used to face this situation, um, that they have the trans fats in their coronary arteries. You know, the coronary arteries are those arteries which are actually are supplying blood to the heart, right? So
Mm-hmm.
trans fats, by just the accumulation of trans fats, a person may face this coronary artery blockage. Okay, and that leads towards the heart disease. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
it means those fats are like cis fats. They are good because in most of the dry fruits, like this is used to be recommended, like you can use them. They are healthy fat. That is the healthy fat actually. That fats are actually healthy. But if you are using a trans fat, that's why in vegetable or like most of the oils and all that we have, once they and we used to eat them, so they have the more concentration of trans fats in that. So that may lead towards the heart attacks and such things, right? So that this is one thing we should keep in mind. This was all about the triglycerides, where we talk about the glycerol and fatty acids. Okay, got it, Filza?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
this was all about what? Yes, Filza, you should just respond properly.
Okay.
No, I'm asking this like that what we have discussed right now. What was the main topic in that?
Of how
Try
they saturate.
Quilza, it was triglycerides. So there we had talked about the glycerol and fatty acids. And in fatty acids, we discussed like we have
The saturated one,
yes,
the unsaturated one.
yes, and cis fats and trans fats based on the double bond and the presence of the hydrogen bond, hydrogen atoms there. If they are on opposite sides, so they are trans fats, and if they are on the same side, so they are the cis fats. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then after we can go to talk about the phospholipids. Phospholipids. The second type of the lipids, I think we have just categorized yesterday. So phospholipids are the type of lipid, right? So therefore they are formed from the monomers glycerol and fatty acids. We have already discussed this, like the general fat that has two components. One is glycerol and other one is fatty acid, right? So,
Okay.
but how it is different from the triglyceride? If the phospholipids, they also have the glycerol and fatty acids, then the question should be in our mind, how this is different from the triglycerides. So let me tell you the difference. There are only two fatty acids bonded to the glycerol molecule in the phospholipid, as one has been replaced by phosphatine.
Mm-hmm.
In triglycerides, we discussed there is one glycerol and three fatty acid chains. Triglyceride. That's why that is triglyceride, because of the presence of three chains of fatty acids. However, in case of phospholipids, what we always see, phospholipids. Yes, how the phospholipids are different. They have the monomer, same monomer. What's that? Glycerol plus fatty acid. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Next point is how this is different from triglyceride. How phospholipid is different from triglyceride. So there's one glycerol here and two fatty acids. However, in case of triglyceride, how many fatty acids were there? How many fatty acid chains were there?
Uh, 5,
Triglyceride, Filza.
3.
Yeah, three. Keep in mind. Triglyceride. I have shown you already, like we have discussed yesterday as well. So glycerol is one, and then you have three chains of I can show you here again, I think. Let me check. Do we have this one? It's a general structure that we have discussed already. Like we can talk about in case of triglyceride. Just a moment. I think I should show you the diagram. Like this was the image that we have discussed yesterday. Like I can show you here. So Filza, here it is. Look at this. How many chains are here? This is triglyceride. How it's triglyceride? Because it has one glycerol here and three chains. One, two, three. Okay. So this is triglyceride. All right, Filza.
Yep.
Now let me show you the phospholipid. Phospholipid. Mm, like this one. Look at in this section. How it's like. Yes, Filza. Can you see it?
Yeah.
And you can see here, Filza, this is glycerol. Okay, this round structure. Then you have one
Mm-hmm.
chain, two chain. This is one chain, this is two chain. It's a fatty acid. Glycerol plus fatty acid. So hydrophobic fatty. You can see here, like again, the third one, carbon, now it has just shown you in open chain form. This is one fatty acid, this is second fatty acid chain. And the third carbon, where in case of triglyceride, where there was a chain of fatty acid, that is replaced with this phosphate group. The third carbon contains phosphate group now. It's a phosphate, hydrophilic polar head. Okay, so this is the structure of what? Phospholipid. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you can see here another structure. All of these are three structures, but they are in the different forms. So you can see here. What is this? Yes, Filza, speak. I just want your response. This is phosphate, Filza. This is just phosphate. It's just like this one. This is in structural form. Here it has shown in the circular form. And what is this, by the way? Yes.
Fatty acids.
Mm, Filza, fatty acid is here. This is fatty acid chain. This is second fatty acid chain. This is what is this? What is this? This chain, straight chain, horizontal chain. Yeah, please. Don't hesitate about it. Like you just think, okay, listen. What is this, Filza?
Mm-hmm.
What is this? What is this, Filza? Why are you not responding?
Glycerine.
It's glycerol, beta. It's glycerol, right? It's a glycerol. I have already told you like it is glycerol but plus fatty acid. It is made up of two things, glycerol plus fatty acids. Don't worry about it, like you will understand it. I have told you phospholipid is made up of two components. One is glycerol, second is fatty acid. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So here this head is showing glycerol and these two chains are showing fatty acids. Here we have two chains of fatty acids. In triglycerides, we had discussed three chains of fatty acids. Okay? So
Mm-hmm.
this one structure here is glycerol. Okay? And this
Mm-hmm.
one structure is fatty acid. Fatty acid chain. Okay? So this
Okay.
is phospholipid. So phospholipids are type of lipid. That's why I told you it's formed from the monomer glycerol and fatty acids. Okay? Are you getting?
Yeah.
Unlike triglycerides, there are only two fatty acids bonded to the glycerol molecule. In a phospholipid, as one has been replaced by, yes, the one fatty acid chain that was in case of triglyceride is replaced by, look into this diagram. What is the structure which is present on the third carbon? Filza.
It's the fatty acid.
How it's fatty acid, Filza? Hmm? How it's fatty acid? You know, Filza, it's what I would say. Is this not phosphate?
It is.
Phosphate group. You know, I've told you that this carbon is busy with the fatty acid chain. This carbon is also busy with fatty acid chain. In triglyceride, there was another chain was here, but this is phospholipid. That's why this carbon chain is replaced by this phosphate group. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
are you getting?
Yeah.
All right. Um. All right. Now I hope you know the difference, like how this structure is paired. What is this? This is glycerol. What is this? This is phosphate. What is this? This is fatty acid chain. So these three components are going to be combined to each other and to make what?
Um,
Phospholipid.
Phospholipid.
Got it?
Yep.
Phospholipid. Any question?
Nope.
So what we have studied up till now?
Phospholipids, triglyceride,
Yes.
how they're saturated their chain, phosphate, which are fatty acid chain.
Yes, we have studied two components. One is triglycerides, and then after we
Mhm.
studied about the phospholipids. How both are different from each other? Difference is only of the one fatty acid chain. In triglyceride, there were three fatty acid chains, and in phospholipids, there are only two fatty acid chains, and one chain is replaced by phosphate group, right? And that
Yeah.
phosphate group is shown here in this circular form, in this circle. And here it is. So that's what we called it's a, yes, it's what? Hmm? It's a phospholipid, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
after we can go for phospholipids are amphi amphipathic. What is this? Amphipathic?
No clue.
Sorry?
No clue.
Yeah. Amphipathic is actually they have both hydrophobic and hydrophilic parts. Phospholipid has, or most of the phospholipids have both hydrophobic and hydrophilic structures. So, what do you think? Which one is hydrophobic and which one is hydrophilic? And what is the difference between these two? Yes,
Between
here's
which?
here's a structure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just telling you there's a structure that's the fat phospholipid structure is amphipathic.
Okay.
It means like it has hydrophobic and hydrophilic. Hydrophilic, hydro, hydrophobic.
Phobic, hydrophobic.
It is water loving and it is water heading.
Do you mind giving me 2 minutes?
Mm, yes, okay. Okay, friends.
Hello?
Okay, Filza, are you back?
Yes.
All right. So we were talking about uh, phospholipids are amphipathic. It means like this phospholipid has the property of hydrophilic and hydrophobic both.
Mm-hmm.
It means like it's one part of it is water loving and other part is water hating,
Water hating.
right? So now you didn't ask me the question like which part is water loving and which part is water hating. This is
So
what
which
we,
one is it?
yeah.
Which one is it?
So this is what I asked. Then after you start asking. Anyway, Filter, by the way, for example, if in a week or in 2 weeks, if I want to talk to your father or somebody in your family, so what will be the scenario in that case?
Why would you want to talk to them in the first place?
Yes, just in order to discuss, like, for example, for the coordination, like how you are going in the classes and what's their overall requirement and what they want actually, because that's sort of, I would say, mm, uh, just informed coordination, I would say. Like, is this something like anybody who is your guardian, like somewhere if I want to talk, so is this possible?
No, it is not.
It is not. Why?
Nope.
They're not living at home?
No, they are, but I'm the one paying for these classes out of my own pocket.
Oh, you're quite independent.
So,
It
the thing
means,
is that if you have any concern, you let me know, you let the manager know. They will reach out to me if that is the
uh,
case.
okay, okay, all right. No, actually, this is my normal practice. Like whenever I have my students with me, so I used to talk to their parents just for like how students going on, like if they want any, if they have any concerns. So I used to ask like just for to keep them in loop, like their child is going well or the way is if they want any improvement in my classes or anything like that. So that's why, otherwise no issue, by the way. So manager was saying like actually they are from Kashmir, so because I'm also from there, so I was just trying to know like
Where are you
if
from in Kashmir?
yes, I'm from there.
Where?
I'm from Muzaffarabad.
Oh yeah, that's far from us.
So from where are you from?
Bagh Azad Kashmir.
So have you ever visited there? I mean, after how much? I mean, about 1 year, 2 year. After how
I
much time
haven't
that?
been there in 3 years.
How many years back? Before?
3.
3 years back, you visited here, right?
Yep.
Okay. For like you just, I mean, you people just used to come here for just vacations or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So overall, your family is living there, right?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So this is like, it's sort of thing because that's why I was saying, and many of my students who are from because mostly from UK's those students who are in UK are in especially in Canada. So they are actually mostly from our region. So that's why I used to have some sort of terms and just to keep them in loop so that I may help their children to improve in their exams. So that sort of thing. Filza. So Filza is quite independent. As you said, I'm paying from my pocket. That was a bit, I mean, very bold answer. Anyway, so Filza, I think we should continue our discussion
Mm-hmm.
here. So I was talking about in this case, like, oh, where's that? Yeah, amino acids. No, no, no. It's a bit automatic now. Sorry for this. I have to get back. Monosaccharides. This is what we have already discussed. I just want to show you its structures because still we didn't talk about uh, triglyceride as a whole structure, what it is. So I have just given you, this is a property of phospholipids, that the phospholipids are amphipathic, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they have both hydrophobic and hydrophilic parts. This is what we are talking about. So as a result of having hydrophobic and hydrophilic parts,
Mm-hmm.
phospholipid molecules form monolayers or bilayers in water. Whenever you put this phospholipid in water, so you will see like they will form the monolayer or bilayer. In what sense they will form the bilayer? Let me show you here. For example, I can show you one thing in case for instance I would have this sort of structure in front of you so you would understand how it is there to form bilayer or monolayer. So, Filza, here is for you. Look at this, please. So, like this. Okay. So, hydrophobic fatty acid, you can see here, it's a tail. Okay. And hydrophilic phosphate head, that's on the other side. Can you see here the mono phospholipid is making the monolayer? It's a one layer structure.
Yes.
Are you getting this is phospholipid monolayer, one layer. And in this case, you can see here, like um in this case, it has made only one layer. However, the tail is on this side and head is here. This head is hydrophilic phosphate head. It is made up of phosphate group. And this long chain is what, Filza? It's a fatty acid chain. We have already talked about this, like it's a fatty acid chain. It's a long chain, right? So this is hydrophobic. Okay.
Mm.
And however, if you talk about the extracellular, for example, we are talking about the structure of the cell membrane, because phospholipids is an integral part of the cell membrane. We'll talk about this as well, but right now at this point, you can see here extracellular. You will see here's a head, tail. You'll see here is a head, tail. So these are actually, I would say, uh, phospholipid bilayer. This is extracellular layer. This is intracellular layer. I hope you know the difference. What is the extracellular and intracellular? This is outside, and this one is filter inside. That is intracellular. Intra means within. Are you getting?
Within. Yeah.
Right? So within. So this is how it is going to make double layer structure as well. Single layer structure, that's what we call the monolayer, and bilayer structure in case of cell membrane. So whenever we place uh, phospholipids in water, so it used to have these two types of structures. I hope you're getting, Filza.
Yeah.
Any confusion, so you can ask, please.
None.
Okay. So now again, one more thing for you is I'm just putting one table in front of you so that it would help you to understand the difference between phospholipids and triglycerides. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just placing one thing for you here. This one. Look at this. And please read out this for me. Number of fatty acid tails in phospholipid, what's its number? And triglycerides, what's its number? Presence of
Mm-hmm.
phosphate, you can see polar, non-polar, number of water molecules released during formation, function. Can you just please read out this table?
Number of fatty acid tail, there are two for phospholipids. Are there any present of phosphate? Yes. It's a polar phosphate head.
Hmm.
The number of molecules of water are three, and the function is the cell membrane component.
Yes, it is present in cell membrane. So, some we will talk about this like it's a lipid bilayer structure. We will talk about like this fluid mosaic model. Some I hope you have studied about this before as well. So, again, once we'll talk about in upcoming lectures, we can discuss. And what's about the triglyceride now? Triglyceride that has three fatty acid tails, right? One chain, second chain, third chain, we have already talked about it. And presence of phosphate, is there any phosphate there in case of triglyceride that you may have a question in your exam? Is there any phosphate group in triglyceride or not?
Phosphate and triphosphate. Yes.
No, triglyceride, Filza, that's just in front of you, my dear. This is in front of you. You can see here. Presence of phosphate, this one. I'm talking about this one. You can see here. Okay. So this is
Mm-hmm.
triglyceride. Triglyceride has no phosphate group because in triglyceride there's one glycerol and second is three fatty acids, nothing else, just these two components. However, in case of phospholipids, we have three components. What are those three? One is glycerol, and the second is two fatty acids. And what is the third structure here? What is the third component here? That is phosphate group, Filza. That is phosphate group. All right. Are you getting this point?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are three main components which are present there. And you can see here, like both have the different functions. For example, in case of triglyceride, you have number of fatty acid tails, you have three. Presence of phosphate, no phosphate. Polar or non-polar, so it's non-polar. Number of water molecules released during formation, three. That's a condensation process. We'll talk about this in upcoming discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Function in case of phospholipid has function of the cell membrane component. Triglyceride has the function of energy storage. Okay, so this is how we should try to understand how phospholipids and triglyceride are different from each other. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. So then after, I think one more point, then we'll conclude this discussion. For example, the astroformation. It's a bit this. I mean, we need to talk about the acid bond actually, because we didn't talk about this the acid bond. So triglycerides contain three ester bonds between the fatty acids and the glycerol molecule. And you have observed that even once we'll go, for example, I can show you here. Um, yes, this structure is for you. I'm just going to explain this structure now, Filza, for you.
Okay.
So here it is. Look at this, please. Can you see it? Filza is visible.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see this? Like, what I mean, just let me explain for you. This is glycerol, Filza. It's already written here. Just please look at this. This is glycerol. This is three. These are three fatty acids. Okay, and you can see here. And what we are going to study here, we'll study about the ester bond formation. How ester bond formation is possible here. So you can see there's a condensation process here. And once this glycerol is going to bind with these three fatty acids, so there is a condensation process. By this condensation process, you will see like the three water molecules are released. How? That's quite simple. We have this hydroxyl group here, this hydroxyl group. Here's dihydroxyl group, and you'll see we have here hydroxyl group. Then after you have here hydroxyl group. So hydrogen will move from one molecule and hydroxyl is removed from the other molecule, a glycerol and fatty acid, and they're going to form the structure here. Is this visible to you? Can you see this on the board, Filza?
Yes, I can see this on the board.
Yeah. So you can see this is triglyceride. And we have made this triglyceride from the glycerol and three fatty acids. Now this is the final structure that you have, and this is triglyceride. And this is formed as the result of condensation process. Getting?
Yes.
Okay. So let me talk about this bit more, like how this structure is formed. This is what we called the bond which is formed there. That is what we call ester bond. What is ester bond actually? I can just place for you. This one, Filza. Can you see here? An ester bond forms when a hydroxyl group from the glycerol bonds with the carboxylic group of the fatty acid. Yes. Hydroxyl group from the glycerol bonds with the carboxyl or carboxylic group of the fatty acid. You know what is this? This is carboxylic group, Filza. This one is carboxylic group. This one is carboxylic group. Why I call it carboxylic? Because this is the carboxylic group. And you can see here, it is just open structure here in this case. I think it's visible. But somehow you're getting this point. So this is one carboxyl group, this is second, and this one is third, Filza. So
Okay.
from here and to other side, you will see this is hydroxyl group, this is hydroxyl group, this is another hydroxyl group. When they are going to form the bond between with each other, just by removing water from there, that's what we call ester bond formation. So an H from the glycerol combines with hydroxyl from the fatty acid to make water. So what glycerol is giving here? Glycerol is giving us what? Yes, it's giving us hydrogen. One hydrogen, this is second hydrogen, this is third hydrogen. And this hydroxyl group will be from this hydroxyl group from here, hydroxyl group from here. So once this hydrogen is going to combine with this hydroxyl group, it is there to form the water molecule. And there are three hydroxyl groups here and three hydrogen atoms are here. So as a result, we'll get three molecules of water. Are you getting this point, Phil? If there is any confusion, so you can ask question, please.
No, I'm getting it.
All right. So this process is called condensation, and this bond which is formed here right now in green color, which is shown in this green color, what is this? This is ester bond. This bond is called ester bond, and this bond is formed just by the combination of the glycerol with three fatty acids. Got it?
Yeah.
All right. So the formation of ester bond is a reaction that's called condensation reaction. That is mentioned here in the diagram, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for each ester bond, how many water molecules are released? Please just respond like you should it should be a two-way class. I don't want to make it a one-way class. Like just I'm speaking and you're just saying yes, no, yes, no. That's not the thing. I just want you to involve in the class. Just get into the class. If you will be wrong, so I will correct you. I will just help you to understand so that you may not get out once, like after this class, you may not need to repeat it again or revise it again. Try to grab all the concepts here in the class. Okay. So if I ask you this question, like in ester bond formation, for each ester bond, how many water molecules are released? What is your take on this? What are you getting from
Three
if
water molecules.
that's an overall. That's the three ester bonds. All three green color that's showing you. These are three ester bonds. And if for three ester bonds we have the three water molecules, it means for one ester bond we have one water molecule, right? So for each ester bond formed, one water molecule is released. Getting?
Mm-hmm.
So three fatty acids join to one glycerol molecule to form triglyceride. Therefore, one triglyceride to form three water molecules are released. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see here in this diagram the three water molecules are released there. So the ester bonds can break during breakdown of the glycerides molecule during digestion process. So this process is a hydrolysis reaction, and three water molecules are taken in reverse reaction to the condensation. Once if you want to break this bond, which is here right now, in this case, if you want to break this bond, these green color bonds, so you have to use water here. And that's what we called hydrolysis. Hydrolysis. I mean, it's the breakdown in the presence of water. Got it?
Okay.
And in that case, if you have released three water molecules, once you'll break this through the process of hydrolysis, you have to provide three water molecules here. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think we should conclude this discussion up to this point, and then after in our next discussion we'll go to talk about the structure and functions of triglycerides and phospholipids, what's their significance in living organisms, where they are playing their role. So this is what we need to talk about. We'll discuss a bit about the cholesterol as well. Okay, so are you getting?
Yeah.
And then after biochemical test and the lipids, we'll talk about some biochemical test as well as per Alberta curriculum. So then after we'll check some past paper questions. Let's conclude this discussion here, Phil's, for today. And